sexton of the church was kind enough to give me the key to the church, which was kind enough of him to do that. And we will hold our meeting there until our meeting hall is complete. Again. So, flag bearer, to your post. Sentinels, to your post. Drummer boy, to your post. Bro, you lost some weight. Yes. I've seen the pictures of you. Come in. Matt, you're going to be outside with me. Well, have your feet sit up front. And here, right here. Feet over there. Yeah. Guarding the exterior of that door. It's pretty short. I'm going to walk in first. Then Kent, Pisser, Kaplan. Officer of the day. All your seats are marked. There's a big sign. Junior Vice Commander. What's that?
The Sentinel announces you.
I can't hear you.
The Sentinel announces you.
Sentinel. What does he say?
What do I say?
Sergeant Major, the officers of the post.
Sergeant Major, the officers of the post.
Post, attention! Present arms. Order arms.
Gentlemen, if you don't have your...
Carry arms. Officers to your posts.
Good.
This is a regular meeting of post number 527 and 544, Department of New York, Grand Army of the Republic. Officer of the day are the approaches to this post properly guarded. Commander, they are.
Very good.
Commander,
They are.
good. Are the officers of the post present in their proper stations? Commander, they are. Are all present members of the Grand Army of the Republic?
All present are members of the Grand Army of the Republic.
At this time, Sentinel Beard. Comrades, once more we have assembled for the transaction of such business as may properly come before this post. We meet in fraternity, charity, and loyalty, and may all our hearts unite as one in sustaining the great objects of our association. The chaplain will now invoke the divine blessing. Parade rest.
Almighty Father, at last receive us into the grand army above, where thou, O God, art the supreme commander.
Amen.
Attention, post number 527 and 544, Department of New York, Grand Army of the Republic, is now open in due form. Have your seats. Adjutant's report. Oh, the adjutant is not here. Okay, so there will be no adjutant's report. The quartermaster report. The quartermaster he's been under the sick and distressed. He will be at, we have a couple of sick and distressed. He's not out. But he wrote to me that we not forget to send our annual dues to the National Encampment. Currently, we are assessed at 25 cents per member, and our first quarterly payment is due in January. He has to make that payment. Also, the Department of New York has assessed each post $1 per member annually. That quarterly payment is also due in January. You are over money in January. Also, please note, gentlemen, that the Inspector General of the Department of New York will be auditing all posts, auditing the posts in Queens County sometime in February. Let's make sure that all of our books, papers, accounts, records, and proceedings pertaining to the Grand Army of the Republic are in good order. Can we take note of that? Reading of orders. This is one that came up recently, General Order 2009. It has been reported that several of the articles are loosely interpreted by our comrades. In regard to Article 7, titles of address, in the meetings of the various bodies of the Grand Army of the Republic, members shall be addressed only as comrades, excepting when holding office, when they shall be addressed by the title of the office which they hold in the Grand Army of the Republic. So, if you come upon a gentleman who is a member, you would basically say, "Greetings, comrade Jason," or comrade, or chaplain Jason. Okay? Anniversary of our victories at Gettysburg and our successes at Lookout Mountain, a prelude to our ultimate victories in Georgia. It is a gathering that we have been able to bring together so many of our old comrades, some of whom we have not clasped hands with for a quarter of a century. Your presence here today assures us that we have not forgotten the stirring days of '63, your old regiments and your old comrades. You formed a part of a vanguard and of the vast army sent forth to preserve the nation's life. You went forth at the call of duty and enlisted at a time when no man knew how powerful the forces of rebellion were, or whether it would be stamped out or accomplish its purpose, the disruption of our union. Many of you remember the evening our armies settled in the woods near Chancellorsville, and the terrible outcome of that day, the loss of friends and leaders, the disorganized mob of that army, and the bold stand that so many of you made. It was at that hour you men of Hempstead proved your worth and what mettle you were made. At Gettysburg you made your stand against overwhelming odds, organized a retreat, stood strong again the next day. But 25 years ago, this month, you began a journey that would end this war. Ordered to, you scaled Lookout Mountain, and without order, never let up on the traitors, pursuing them to the Georgia border. Many of you men fought in New York and Brooklyn regiments, beside Irishmen and Dutchmen, and brave they were too. I do recall one of those German officers rallying his men with, quote, "It is sweet to die for the fatherland." This, the new land of their fathers, the United States of America. And under our beloved hero, General William T. Sherman, who regrets that he cannot be with us today. We fought the battles around Atlanta, and I, for one, am proud to say that several of you joined with me as our own colonel, marched us into that city, the first Union soldiers to do so, and were given the privilege of taking the city of Atlanta and arresting its mayor. Our journey and story ended in June 1865, and our lives in Queens County resumed once more. While it is a matter of great gratification that so many old comrades are here with us today, hale and hearty,
though with heads and beards whitened by the frosts of 25 winters, since many of us last met. Let us not part without the thought for the dear comrades who have answered the last roll call. We miss them today. Peace to their ashes. Comrades, I trust this happy reunion will not be our last. It is not proper that friends allied by such ties of memory or should so seldom look upon each other's faces and grasp each other's hands. If this be our last meeting, what better wish can I express than that of, brothers, God grant that when this life is o'er, in the life to come, we meet once more. Thank you. Senior Vice Commander, to honor our occasion, would you read from the Gettysburg Address?
77 years ago, our fathers brought forth on this continent a new nation, received in liberty and dedicated to the proposition that all men are created equal. Now we are engaged in a great civil war, testing whether that nation or any nation so conceived and so dedicated can long endure. We are met in a great battlefield of that war. We have come to dedicate a portion of that field as a final resting place for those who gave their lives that that nation might live on. It is altogether fitting and proper that we should do this. But, in a larger sense, we cannot dedicate, we cannot consecrate, we cannot hallow this ground. The brave men, living and dead, who struggled here have consecrated far above our poor power to add or detract. The world will little note nor long remember what we say here, but it can never forget what they did here. It is for us to living, rather, to be dedicated here to the unfinished work which they who fought here have thus far so nobly advanced. It is rather for us to be here dedicated to the great task remaining before us, that from those honored dead we take increased devotion to the cause which they gave their last full measure of devotion. That we here highly resolve that those dead shall have not died in vain, that this nation, under God, shall have a new birth of freedom, and that government of the people, by the people, for the people, shall not perish from this earth.
Hurrah. Thank you. Is there any further business to come before this post?
That's the new business. Get the commander of the house. When the quartermaster's back, next one, we'll get it all.
He's not ill. Comrades, our duty for this association is performed. As we go from this place, let us not forget to take with us to our daily lives that fraternity of feeling which should bind us together as comrades. That charity which shall prompt us to the noblest sacrifices for the needy and destitute wards of our Grand Army, and that loyalty which shall bind us to the faithful performance of our duties as citizens and to an undying vigilance, which is the price of liberty. Senior Commander. Senior Commander, on what rests the hope of our republic?
One country, one flag.
Junior Vice Commanders, how may our country be kept undivided and our flag maintained unsullied?
By eternal diligence, which is the price of liberty.
Officer of the day, what should be the doom of all traitors?
The penalty is death.
The
penalty of treason is death. Let's say that again.
The penalty of treason is death.
Such be the doom of all traitors, and may God keep you true in fraternity, charity, and loyalty. I declare post number 527 and 544, Department of New York, Grand Army of the Republic, closed. Thank you, gentlemen. Okay, now let us collect all our ritual cards. We should retire for refreshment at the tavern.
The way the officer does.
Okay. And I think I'm getting older here. Oh.
think we're all good.
We're all getting real on, Commander.
Gentlemen,